Hello everybody, Travis here for Tpull's Corner, and we just started a new session here with a new deck, and I kept it really simple. I just called it Mono White Mythic. I ransacked my white cards for a whole bunch of the Mythic Rares, and just a couple of removal cards or interaction cards. Target tapped creature. Let's see if this one wants to block me or not. They do. They'll make the trade. No, they changed their mind at the last second. Okay. Another creature. And they're not attacking. I wonder why not. Well, let's do an attack first. They should let that through, right? Okay. And then I think we just... do we wait? Yeah, let me do this. They're really not going to want to attack me now, not unless they can get the 4/4 off the board, right? No, they are surprising me all over the place. 3 damage. All of this increases their damage, but doesn't do anything for their toughness, so my Deadly Riposte should be pretty good. And they didn't have a 1-drop damage component to take care of that creature. Let's go ahead and get rid of the Windstar Crowd. Get me my 4 source of white mana so I can cast the Phyrexian Vindicator. And they didn't go for double white, they went to go get another mountain instead. I would have expected double white. I would expect with Boros that they've got need for more than just 1 white mana. This would be a trade, right? Because this doesn't tap, so the Deadly Riposte can't do much against that. They're all vigilant, right? I've got so many choices here. I think this is easiest. Now that's beyond my ability to riposte. And they made it flying? No, they didn't equip it yet over to Danitha. Wow! I'm a little surprised at this. That's 5 damage. Damage is gonna die. And still no kind of direct damage spell to take out the judge at the end of the day. My opponent is confusing me a lot. I wouldn't expect them to keep rushing in to attack this way. Alright, Elspeth Resplendent is going to help us out with the Phyrexian Vindicator.
Point me towards the fight. Let's do this together.
And we will give it Vigilance. And they both have Vigilance and Flying. So if they don't block, that's going to be 10 big points. And this is my Iron Man football team now as well. Since I got Vigilance, I can use them for attack and defense. Easy peasy. A replacement Argivian Recruiter. Okay, what is this final spell? Well, this is fun. Elspeth.
Follow my light!
Oh no, wait. It's already flying, right? We just want to create a creature with lifelink for chump block in case we don't lose this particular time.
This is
and
our
give
fight!
lifelink
This
to
is your
the
fight.
Vindicator. And they
Win
don't wait
it.
for it, and we're done! I felt cheated a little bit. I had all these awesome spells. I was looking forward to casting more of them. Sometimes that happens. Okay, let me go ahead and show you the full deck. And while we wait for this to resolve, we ask you to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Mono White Mythic. I didn't get tricky with the deck name this time. Just truth in advertising. This will be exactly what you think it is. Okay, so a little bit of non-mythic rare to start with. 1 Deadly Riposte. Deals 3 damage to a tapped creature and you gain 2 life. 2 Intrepid Adversaries. That's 3/1 lifelink. And if we have extra mana, we can use it as a mana sink to pay 2 more each time. And you can pay that, if I have 6 extra mana, I can pay that 3 more times and give counters to everybody. They get, well, it's not counters. They get +1/+1, but it's not a counter. It disappears if the Intrepid Adversary goes away. 1 spell to do with artifacts or enchantments. Sanctify that gains its life. 1 Urza Silex is a board wipe, and if we have 2 extra mana, then we can actually go get a Planeswalker card as well. 2 Halo Fountains that allow us to do various and sundry other shenanigans depending on how much mana that we have. Monastery Mentor. When you cast a non-creature spell, we get a 1/1 White Monk creature token that has prowess. Faithbound Judge that we saw, 4/4 Defender with flying and vigilance. Each turn it gets a judgment counter out. When it gets 3, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender. And then if we lose it, it can come back. We can summon it as an enchantment for 7. That's the disturb cost, and make an Aura Curse. And then we get 3 more judgment counters, and when the enchantment gets the 3rd judgment counter, the enchanted player, that's our opponent, will lose the game. And I've used this card a couple of different times. I think I've demonstrated it once already just for an alternate way to win the game. But it's a nice little backup plan in case other things aren't working out for you. In the Trenches, creatures you control get +1/+1 for only 3 mana. And then you can do this once. You can exile a target non-land permanent you don't control until In the Trenches leaves the battlefield. You can activate it only as a sorcery, only the 1 time. Our copy of Resplendent Angel, this one from the Ixalan variation. 3/3 flyer for 3. And then at the beginning of the end step, if you gain 5 or more life in the turn, you get a 4/4 white angel creature token that you see pictured to the right with flying and vigilance. And then for 6 mana, you can give it lifelink and make it +2/+2. I have 4 Saviors of Allenbach, so hopefully I get a chance to attack with this. Whenever it trains, you exile it to 1 other target creature from the battlefield or a creature card from the graveyard. And then when the Savior of Allenbach leaves the battlefield, you can put the exiled cards onto the battlefield under their owner's control. This is kind of fun because if you've lost some creatures, you can exile your own creature from the graveyard, and when this thing dies, then you get your other creature back, which may be a bigger problem than the Savior is in and of itself. So the Savior can keep exiling creatures until you get rid of it. 2 copies of Myros Shield of Argive, 3/4 Legendary Human Soldier. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate any abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. And then whenever it attacks, you get soldier artifact creature tokens. X is the number of soldiers you control. So if Myro's the only soldier on the field and she attacks, we get 1 soldier. And then if that soldier token stays around, the next turn she attacks, then she gets 2 soldiers, one for her and one for that soldier token. Archangel Elspeth, the Planeswalker, create 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink, usually is what we're doing. Or you can put 2 counters on a target creature, make it a flying angel. 1 Cemetery Protector, 3/4. This one's a soldier. You can flash it in, exile a card from a graveyard, and whenever you play land or cast a spell, if it does share the type with the exiled card, you get to create a human creature token. Elish Norn, March of the Machines, 3/5 with Vigilance. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals combat damage to you or a permanent you control, that source's controller loses 2 life unless they pay 1. We can also sacrifice 3 other creatures and transform this into the Enchantment Saga you see to the right. And a nice little board wipe at the end there for that Enchantment Saga. 2 copies of Sarah Paragon, more angels that fly. And then once during each of your turns, you can place a land from your graveyard or cast a permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard. So that's kind of fun. You only get it back for the one thing, but you know, if they get rid of our Saviors of Allenbox, for example, all 4 of those, we can bring those back. Could bring back the Resplendent Angel, could bring back the Monastery Mentor. So lots of fun there. 2 Wandering Emperors, very infamous card at this point. 1 Phyrexian Vindicator, very deadly. Damage is prevented. Whatever its damage is dealt to the Vindicator is prevented, and then you can deal it to any other target you want. Another version of Elish Norn. This is from Phyrexia All will be one, the 4/7 Vigilance version. Permanent entering the battlefield. If it has a triggered ability, I get to trigger it twice. And the opponent does not get their stuff to trigger. 1 Io the Dawn Sky, 5/4 Flying Dragon Spirit with Vigilance. And when it dies, we get a couple of different choices there we can use. 1 more Planeswalker with Elspeth Resplendent. So, you know, Archangel Elspeth, Elspeth Resplendent. We just like, you know, she's been around for a while. She gets around. She's in all these latest expansions and stuff. So, you know, they're going to keep giving us to her. We're going to keep using her. 4 copies of Virtue of Loyalty to create the 2/2 white knight creature token with Vigilance at first with the Ardenvale Fealty instant spell. And then later, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Plus you untap them. So it's basically like giving everything you got Vigilance. And finally, what is an old veteran card at this point, the Enduring Angel, because we haven't had the standard rotation yet, so we still have access to all the Innistrad cards. Another Angel, 3/3 flying with double strike, and you, as the player, as a Planeswalker yourself, have hexproof. And then there's all sorts of neat things we can do if our total would be reduced to 0 or less. We could sort of get a second life, and neat things that the Enduring Angel can do, which is really very fun. So a lot of these, I'm using the number of copies that I have. I only have 1 copy of Phyrexian Vindicator. I haven't burned wildcards to get more yet. I might change my mind on that. I used to have a self-imposed ban on burning my wildcards, but I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and I decided to get rid of the ban when I started my 3rd year of casting videos on YouTube. So now whenever I feel like, I'll go ahead and burn a Mythic Rare wildcard. Just depends on what deck I want to create these days. But if I don't have it specifically for a deck that I want to create, I'm not going to do it just to add it to my collection. I'll wait until I want to actually use it in a deck that I'm creating that calls for maybe 4 copies of those, and then I'll craft them. Oh, we get to go first? Sweet. I like having Sanctify up front. A lot of your opponents can come out and have an artifact or an enchantment type heavy bias. And if they do, they could probably steamroll you anyway, but for example, if they have a turn 3 Urbrass Forge, I can actually do something about it on the next turn rather than just wait to be pummeled to death by increasingly powerful token creatures. Alright, we'll go ahead and place the Urza Silex now. Red has a way to take care of artifacts. We'll see if they bother to include anything in their deck that does address it. Okay, so I can't counterspell Phyrexians. Let's see. I think... let's go ahead and bring down the Faithbound Judge. There should be tons of removal. If it's not exiled, then this will just throw it in the graveyard. I'm fine with that. And then once we get 7 mana, we can bring it back. Cavern of Souls, it must be a Phyrexian tribal deck because they only chose Phyrexian for both of those. So they're not looking to prevent anything else. They threw away their Planeswalker? Just to get rid of my Faithbound Judge. Okay. We're done. I'm gonna wait for more land. That's why they threw away. They have another Planeswalker.
Finally! A world that appreciates my nightmares. You take
Here's the thing. I wanted to wait until I had 6 mana, and I could get rid of... I could summon a Planeswalker myself, but... I think Ashiok is too dangerous, so we're just gonna clear the field.
Sleep with one eye open.
Children, of course. Of course, of course, of course. Alright, here's this. Let's bring out Isle of the Dawn Sky. So maybe I should have waited to turn if they were going to put out Sheoldred. Okay, we have Vigilance, so we can keep attacking. We also have in the trenches, and I can exile Sheoldred with that. Might as well bring down Savior of Allenbach too. Give me options. So they have Mythic Rare, Mythic Rare, Mythic Rare themselves, so it's a mirror match, right? White versus black? They do have a removal spell. We attack, get them down under 20, they're going to go above 20 with their draw. They should trade off. They should attack and see if I'm willing to trade with AO and Sheoldred. They really should. But they're not going to. So we will do that. I would have I don't know why they didn't attack. It's not like... I mean, the worst thing is they get rid of a 6/5 flyer. Yeah, they figured it out. It's a little late. Hey, we beat Sheoldred! How often does that happen? Sheoldred has beat me so many times since they debuted that card. And so we're doing pretty good considering the current environment. You feel like you'd need a lot of removal spells. You need a lot of interaction, and I've only got a couple of interaction cards. Urza Silex, using that as a board wipe. But typically I'm doing at least 8 to 10, and I'm bumping up into 12 or 14 as I feel it necessary with a lot of my deck creation. Here we've got, one damage spell we can send, one Urza Silex, an exile spell here and there. The Saviors could exile maybe, and we have the Wandering Emperor, which can exile creatures. So maybe that adds up to 8 or 9 by the time we're done. Not removal in the strictest form of the sense, but they work. What do you take? I've got mostly lands, so there's not a whole lot of choices there. Okay, they take what I thought they were going to take. We're just going to pass. We see if they attack us. If they do, I'll just take out the bat with a Ganjo. They just have another one. Lovely. There goes my Savior of Allenbach, right? What are the odds that they would get both of the bats up front? Yeah, we'll get rid of that. The courtyard comes down, into the trenches comes down. And they've got a whole fistful of cards, and I mostly just got land. I get outrageous robbery already. another Into the Trenches. If we ever get creatures, we're going to be doing well. Applesauce. Actually, it's going to go away. We've got a little discard theme here going. Monastery Mentor. That's my card. In a third bat already. Kind of disgusting. And I can't really let them do that, right? I have to get rid of my own Monastery Mentor. They've got enough energy to cast pretty much anything they want, and it's a Shieldred again. Okay, we might lose on this one. All right, we'll bring out everything we have now because we're worried about discard anyway. Thanks to Into the Trenches, we don't have to worry about cut down. So if they were packing those, oh, never mind. We'll get rid of our Savior Alabok, I guess. But we do have defense against the Flyers now. Let's go ahead and roll the dice, draw a card. That didn't work out so well for us. What is up with the lands this time?
I have been reborn! Ready arms!
We can double block Shieldred if they try and attack. We don't have 8 cards in our graveyard yet, so they can't activate the Enchantment Saga yet. But they're blitzing that in. They want to take us out now. Or they just want the card draw. Do you have... Is that a trick? Is that a battle tactic? What do you got? Draw the card. Another creature with lifelink.
This is our fight to win!
Yeah, let's bring that down. We're getting a little dangerous here with our life total. All mana value 3 or less. I could bring back another Savior. Deadly Cover-Up. We're gonna destroy every creature? Seriously? Do they already have just another Shieldred ready? Okay, my turn. We target you with Sinner's Judgment. The clock starts. You have 3 turns. Create a chump blocker with that.
You will shine bright.
The nice thing is instead of creating a 1/1 every turn, since I've got the 2 enchantments out, it's a 3/3 every turn instead. If they have removal, again, a cut down won't work, but they can blitz out their underdog each time. They did it wrong. They could have chosen to have me sacrifice a token, and they chose the regular creature, so they just clicked the wrong thing on their Shieldred's Edict, and that's all it took for them to quit. 29-7, and they took their toys and go home. So this is what happens to me a lot on a lot of my decks, is they're designed to sort of build up and take over, come from behind at later stages. But instead what happens is they treat me like Rocky. They punch me in the face until I get down low on life. And then as soon as they understand that the worm has turned, they run. So, yeah. 9 health more points than when they started, and they tuck their tail between their legs and they run away. I'm losing count of how many times I win that way. Maybe I should just start making more mono red type decks so I can just go hit people in their face all the time. Part of this is just from my philosophy on, I always want to play with the bigger, more powerful cards, so I have to craft a deck strategy that allows me to survive long enough to get those powerful cards out. So I'm usually trying to play for a longer game than anybody else that I'm facing. Okay, maybe no Shield this time for switch. Yeah, we'll go ahead and toss this out now. That's fair. They do nothing. Faithbound Judge. And if they have a tactic, we want to know what it is now, so we attack. They take it. First blood is ours for a change. Who would have thought? Oh, War Leader's Call. Okay. That could be a problem. Let's do Urza's Silence. Attack again. Now next, if they have a big haste creature that comes out, we can bring out Wandering Emperor. Gross. Disgusting creature. Not going to attack yet, eh? I can't attack now either. So most of what they're going to have is just basically creature. And death by 1,000 cuts if they can't just attack me straight away. Look at their life versus my life already. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. We'll go attack with this. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Again, I don't have untapped land, so I'm just going to have to destroy everything now. So I'm not getting where I want to. I want to get where I can cast that Silex and then still call up a Planeswalker for the extra value. Let's bring out the big guns, see if they can do anything about those. Okay. I can't cast anything during their turn, so I can't flash in the Wandering Emperor anymore. But let's see if they come after me with my Rel. They do not. Okay. In that case, how about that? We're just building up again. A little surprised they do this, but alright, if this comes down here, come on. Start the clock. Target them. No attacks. Non-combat damage. They can't target me directly with spells while I've got Enduring Angel up. I've got Hexproof. So now, whenever we cast a non-creature spell, we're going to get this kind of thing going on. Still no attacks. I've got a very delicate balance of protection right now. Alright, and they're doing 5 because they have 5 creatures. Well, I guess we block there. We block there, we block there, we're taking 3. Toss them to kill them. Okay. I'm getting low here, so let's max this out. We get to operate it twice. It doesn't do any good really for that. I think that's good enough. I don't need to attack this turn. Uh-oh. That may be enough. They didn't do it. They didn't attack. Yep. I don't know if they read the Sinner's Judgment. That was our third counter that we just got. So, beginning of our upkeep, put a Judgment counter on. If there's 3 or more, you lose the game. So, they should have attacked. Let's see if they... how's enemy Tpull work again? Hang on. Whenever you attack with 1 or more non-gnome creatures, put a +1 counter on her, then create colorless gnome artifacts where it's equal to the number of tapped and attacking. Oh, next to, okay, so it would have given her 1 more, and then we would have had 6 of those, which would have been 12, and I would have had bigger ones to block with all of those. 12. I only had 5 there. Yeah, I think maybe they skipped the attack phase. I think they could have had me. Everybody's sleepwalking on the arena tonight. Yeah, I'm assuming these are just mistakes that people are making. If people were playing their perfect game, if they were fully focused, maybe I could have lost a couple of those matches. I'm used to going to chess tournaments in my high school years, and that was part of the game. You know, your opponent made their choice, they made their move, and if they missed something, you capitalized on it, and you just zapped them right away. Sometimes you're the zapper, sometimes you're the zappy. They did pretty good about getting a whole new battlefield set up right after I did the board wipe, right? That wasn't too shabby. Magic's gotten kind of scary in the old days. Like a lot of times, if I'm playing a deck and they do a board wipe on me, then it pretty much kills me dead. These days, there's a lot of ways that you can reconstruct your entire army in just 1 or 2 turns, it seems like. Not the best start, but I do have a virtual loyalty to at least get something on the field. Another Lunark Veteran deck again. Maybe I need to create a deck with Lunark Veteran. I haven't used Lunark Veteran in a long, long time. Everybody seems to keep using them all over the place. Okay, we do get a land. I think we just play into the trenches, or in the trenches. Pump up my creature. And they take 3 damage. First blood is ours again. Oh, they have Sanctify. Is this a mirror match? Are you doing a mirror match against me? Okay. And she, what? Hello. Why did you quit? Why is everybody quitting so quickly? You get rabble rousing. That gives you more when you attack. And she's got ward of 3 life. And she's already a 3/3. I mean, oh, you know why? It's because I could train right away on my next attack and they knew that I would go ahead and just exile her. And maybe they don't have removal? Even though they have 3 colors? They wouldn't have enough interaction so they could get rid of the savior to get her back. They just know I'd be willing to pay that ward 3 life cost just to exile her off the field to start with. Giving up in just 3 or 4 turns. It's different if you're like facing mono red and ranked or something. And you know the next turn's going to be lethal damage to your face. I guess it's a little strange because I'm purposefully not playing in ranked right now because I want to have a longer game. I don't want it to be over in 4 turns. I want to be able to demonstrate some of the deck and how the synergies work. You know, I didn't just put every Mythic Rare that I had in this deck. These were each chosen to work with each other. You know, there's some soldiers in there. There's some angels in there. So it's like an angel soldier deck. But yeah, I guess it's a little bit disappointing sometimes because you think these are Federal Magic players. They love the game. They want to play with you. And then, no, they just want a quick, easy win. And if they don't get it, they're going to scoop on you. And so that's almost like poor sportsmanship in my mind. But to each their own. If I could ever get my YouTube format channel that I want for Magic, then we could maybe have an understanding that people are going to go into that YouTube format. They know they're going to be in a recorded game. They would want to put their best foot forward and not just scoop right away. But none of these people know. They don't know I'm recording them. Maybe that could be an emote. You're being recorded. Maybe I'd get more scoops because people just don't want to be on YouTube. I don't know. Okay, is this going to be mono red aggro? Precisely why I'm not in ranked, to avoid some of that? Mono red aggro is usually faster than this. Waiting. Why does that take you so long? That's what you got? Why did that take you so long to do? That's disgusting. You even slow to hit the attack button. Alright, here's where we see if their other cards are removal cards. Alright, whether I win or lose, we're going to make this our last game because I'm getting called to dinner, which means I got hot food waiting for me. Come on, you know you got a lightning bolt or something equivalent. Okay. Let's go with another one. Attack, because we have Vigil. And now maybe we could block Godric with both of them? Yeah, he's flying now. Why wouldn't they attack with the Phoenix chick? Why wouldn't they attack with all of them at this point? Okay, we will double block that one. And we're taking 4 points. Okay. Lifelinker? Seems like our only choice. I didn't get a land. I can go ahead and attack. They can trade with the Bloodthirsty Adversary. They do not. So they scoop with land. They're on the ground with Godric. So actually gain life out of that particular part. And here, Faithbound Judge. Still alive for a second. Raise. Okay, down to 6. Resplendent Angel or Interrupt Adversary. Let's try Resplendent Angel, and we can do Virtue of Loyalty. Oh, don't you dare attack. They're gonna do it. No way. Okay, 6, right? Five life back, 3 creatures, life is good. We don't care what you do now, you're dead. If they had to burn down the house next turn, maybe they could survive for a second. They're gonna exile and decide to attack. And we're actually, yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll take out the landlubbers again. Because Phoenix just won't block anyway. And they run away after they're through pummeling me as much as they can. We beat Mono Red. That is like, did we just win 4 in a row again? I did this with my last video. Ever since I got busier in my regular life, in real life, I've had to cut down on the number of videos I make. And we're doing better, actually. At least in terms of the online matches. But let me go ahead and show you the deck one last time. Mono White Mythic, we got a bunch of Mythic Rares. Not all of them in my collection, but the ones that make good sense. Phyrexian Vindicator really is a nice choice card when he comes out. But yeah, take this out for a spin if you get. Let me know what your results are if you like it. And as always, we'll take comments on what changes you might make. And last, before I forget, for the second time, I'll tell you in the course of the video, like and subscribe. We can always use more word to get out about the channel. And I'll have something new for you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.